I signed up for a masterclass membership because they had a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. I canceled well before the 30 days because I've been caught in that trap of thinking I have 30 days and am a day off missing the guarantee. So I err on the side of early termination. The cancellation was simple to locate, and with a click of a button, I was out without any hassle, until I opened my email to discover an invoice for the full $132.36, not even the $10 monthly fee. I searched and searched for the fine print, and eventually found the terms of conditions, 2.7 refund policy, and the final sentence. To request a refund or to ask a question regarding the refund policy, email support@masterclass.com. I needed to go the extra step and request the refund. I noticed an option to speak with AI about the situation and opened the chatbot. How can I help you? I canceled within the 30 days, was charged, would like a refund. Why do you think you should get a refund? I cancel within the 30-day guarantee. Can we offer you the membership at half off? No. Are you sure you want to proceed with a full refund for your subscription? Confirm. I've processed your refund and canceled your subscription. The auto renewal has been deactivated. Is there anything else I can help you with today? Print this chat. At this time, we are unable to provide a printout of this chat. We assure you your refund has been issued. Is there anything else I can help you with today? No. I busted out laughing. I felt like I was being outed for having trust issues. But then I halted. Wait, I should have trust issues. This was not what it appeared. The fine print hidden in clicks behind the facade of simplicity? Why did I need to make that request? Why was my cancellation within the window not request enough? I experienced a double bind with AI, or in layman's terms, gaslit. The term double bind was coined in the 1950s by a Stanford University think tank group led by Gregory Bateson. The behavior scientists were researching schizophrenia. Bateson had been seeing a young male client, aged 35, hospitalized for schizophrenia. The treatment was considered successful, and the scientists were sitting in an adjoining room with a one-way mirror witnessing his discharge to his mother.
She's coming today. It feels like it's been forever. I've been in these four walls that have felt like a prison, hearing the yells and the screams from the other patients. Maybe it's my own, sometimes I'm not sure. And yet there's a sense of safety. But finally, it's here. My mother is coming. They tell me it's the beginning of the process of going home. I've longed to go back home. I've longed to be healed. My flare-ups, my mind, it all feels so out of my control. It's all so very confusing. But in these four walls, with the psychiatrist and the nurses, something feels normal about this, and yet so confined. I hear them coming. I feel unsure about this feeling. Maybe this feeling is unsure. Uncertainty, maybe. What will it be like? Does she still love me? I sit patiently waiting for her. I can hear her voice. These feelings feel strange. I don't like them. I'm so glad to see her. Oh, this embrace doesn't feel good. Oh, I must pull back. Doesn't feel good. What is wrong with me? I'm confused. She asked me,
Don't you love me anymore?
I don't know. I longed to see her, but after I embraced her, I felt my body recoil. What is that? I guess I don't love her. I don't know. I feel confused. I feel embarrassed. My lack of response naturally brings her statement.
Dear, you must not be so easily embarrassed and afraid of your feelings.
But I am afraid of my feelings. My feelings are confused. I love her. I hate her. I don't understand. It's all so confusing. I hear the chatter. I can't process anything. My emotions are too all over the place. I feel like it's happening again.
The man was able to stay with his mother only a few minutes. Following her departure, he assaulted an aide and was put in the tubs. The scientists observed the mother's reaction of not accepting her son's affectionate gesture was masterfully covered up by her condemnation of him for withdrawing, and subsequently the patient denied his perception of the situation by accepting her condemnation. He was caught in a situation where his mother was expressing two messages, one of these denying the other. Said in another way, two tracks of information being conveyed with contradictory meaning. Bateson continued his work with the young man and discovered his incredible insight of a reality that uses below-the-radar abusive forms of communication.
And one of the very conspicuous things with these people in what is called schizophrenia is how much they know of what is wrong. The extraordinary articulacy, once you begin to discover, begin to be able to hear the nature of the poetry that they're using. This boy, as I'm talking about, he was 35. He finally, after about 2 months, started to talk prose, which is considered a good thing in psychiatric circles. And his first prose utterance was Bateson. This was after a long silence on both sides. Nobody said anything. No context except that there was me and there was him. Bateson, you want me to come live in your world. I lived in it from 1920 to 1943, and I don't like it. He won that round. I didn't know what to say. Frieda from Reichmann, the great therapist of psychotics, came to Palo Alto about that time, to the think tank, and I asked her. I said, Frieda, my patient said this. What would you have said? And she said, yes. I once had a patient who said something like that. And I said, but I never promised you a rose garden.
I couldn't imagine this young man was looking for a promise of a rose garden. I wouldn't want one either. I'm not a fan. I don't like all the thorns. And further exemplifying how a system continues to fail the sensitives. The sensitivity of schizophrenias can perceive levels of communication missed by the less perceptive. But in the Western low-context flatland, this incredible sensitivity is diagnosed as ill because it falls outside the normative arc. On top of this, the trigger of these episodes arises from the lack of awareness of these double binds.
I experience screaming voices. People don't believe how insane I am.
And it was terrifying. Totally manic or totally depressed. And it was, it wasn't him. That and we knew.
I just wanted a car to hit me or a truck or just something to take me out because this time I wanted it to really work.
I really felt like I needed to end my life. I felt like I was this complete failure. So I was in really bad shape, and the mental health system only made that worse.
It's a mythology to think that there's the normal and then there's the abnormal.
The average recovery rate in the Western world, with all our sophisticated diagnoses and medications and highly paid experts, is about 1/3. The recovery rate in the developing world is about 2/3.
Where does somebody who's in this delicate state, they're in a process. They're sent to prison, they're sent to jail, they're sent to a psychiatric ward, or they're chemically incarcerated, or they're homeless.
In the United States, we've come to believe in the chemical imbalance theory of mental disorder.
These medicines are very, very powerful in helping, but they can be very powerful in harming.
I mean, like the disclaimer on these pills, that's typically the first side effect is suicidal thoughts. And that's what the doctor is giving you to feel better. I mean, it's crazy.
We live in a psychotic society. We do. And what is meant by psychotic? Out of touch with reality.
How mental illness is constructed in different places in the world is very, very different.
Only in the Western world have we developed this bizarre idea that hearing voices and having strange ideas has no meaning at all.
My human rights work has taken me to indigenous and tribal cultures around the world. Often I met individuals who would go into a trance-like state to serve as a healer or visionary for their community. These are the people we call shaman. And I was surprised to learn that many were identified in their youth by having what we would call a psychotic break. Hearing voices, having visions, feeling terrified. I was struck by how differently these symptoms were looked at in our culture.
We have lost touch in our medical system from some of the simple needs that people have for connection, the simple needs that people have for community. Maybe it's not just a broken brain. Maybe it's not just an illness. Maybe this is not just something to hide and be ashamed of. Maybe it's something to explore and learn from.
It was Saturday. My daughter was home with her boyfriend.
I asked my mom, hey, do you want to watch a movie called Words on the Bathroom Rolls with Thatcher, my boyfriend? And then I thought for a second, maybe she wouldn't like it because it has some dark scenes, stuff like that. And she hates horror movies or teenage dramas. It's just too much for her, so she doesn't enjoy watching them. And she said, if you think I'll like it, then yeah, of course. And I thought, and I was like, yeah, I think she would like it. The boy kind of reminds me of my brother Sebastian, minus the seeing people and voices part. Just kind of like the way he presents himself to the world reminded me of him. And we started watching the movie. I told her, if you need to stop at any time, just let me know and we can stop watching the movie. And that never happened, but during the movie, my mom, who hates when people talk during movies and does not talk during movies or shows, was constantly just, he doesn't have schizophrenia. You know that, right? He's seeing into the fourth dimension. They don't recognize that. They're going to medicate him. They're going to send him to an institution, which is so unnecessary because he's not schizophrenic. He's seeing into the fourth dimension. Over and over with every scene she's saying this to us. You understand this, right? You get this, right? Yes, Mom, I understand this. It's crazy the world of misconceptions we live in.
I was losing my mind as we watched this movie. It was true the protagonist Adam also reminded me of my son Sebastian. The innocence in his eyes coupled with the confusion he sees when he's engaging in the world. I never talk during a movie. I'm locked in. Ava, on the other hand, is the talker. She tends to get interrupted by snaps or DMs or chats, drawing her attention momentarily away from the story, getting lost and asking me to get her back on track. To which I pause the movie so as to not get further lost to catch her up. Words on Bathroom Walls is a story of an adolescent boy who is diagnosed with schizophrenia. My stomach was twisting from the distress as I watched this movie present a narrative in Flatland within the arc. How are we still here? Double binds were peppered into the movie, so below the radar.
I'm sorry, but there's one other essay that's been scheduled to be read.
Okay, that was a bold move. Everyone else has it always. Nothing to
Hi. I'm Adam. I'm here because
Don't get off the stage.
I need my diploma. Without it,
Please, Adam.
I can't be the person I want to be.
Shut up. No one wants to be here. Don't.
And that's because I have schizophrenia.
You're ruining your mother's life.
It's a chemical disorder in the brain, and it makes you hear voices and see things that aren't there. It sucks. You could just Google it. I have people in my life who have been trying to help me. People who see me as more than an illness. But I push them away. I tried chasing this idea of being normal, whatever that means. You don't want to end up on the bathroom walls, right? The benchmark exam asked us to write about our greatest failure. And I wish that I could read my essay right now, but it was based on a lie. My greatest failure, hands down, has been hiding from the ones I love.
Adam is confronting his illness on the graduation stage. Darkness begins to descend upon him. He becomes encased in these thoughts. This is what is commonly labeled having limiting beliefs. Only they are not his beliefs. They are the collective denials and repressed judgments he is perceiving. When others do not recognize their judgments based on their own repressed trauma, these dark waves of energy form and encapsulate the perceptive ones.
Adam!
Hey, I'm sorry about the hospital.
No, I don't care about the hospital.
I was just in a bad place, and you
I
have
know,
every right to hate me.
I
and if you
don't
want to
hate you.
talk to
Hey,
me,
stop. Is that why you didn't tell me? Because you thought that I was gonna leave? Hey, right here.
no.
Well, then
I'm always gonna see things and hear things that I shouldn't.
As the scene progresses to a happy ending of Adam coming to terms with he will always see things and hear things he shouldn't because he's living in Flatland, encased in the arc of denial. In this scene, we see the characters he shouldn't see, the protective bat-swinging one, the Zen spiritual feminine, and the horn dog brah. His girlfriend is upset because he walked away from the relationship, not giving her a chance to choose.
Give me a chance to stay.
What'd you have?
I love you.
Only his action was informed because she didn't give him a chance to choose either.
One day, my little girl here is gonna pick me up in a Porsche. She's been saying this since she was 10.
Sorry, excuse me. Why did you do this?
I didn't mean to upset you, honestly. I went to the other house and the lady just sent me here.
So you just decided to make yourself at home by cooking dinner?
I thought it'd be a nice thing to do.
You did it because it was a nice thing to do or because you felt sorry for us?
No. I don't feel sorry for you.
Are you satisfied then? Good job, you found our tiny little house in our rundown neighborhood so you could cook us poor people dinner. You're a real saint.
I'm sorry.
All this hiding, covered with words of love, protection, and concern. His perception is being informed in subtle ways, below the radar abuse continuing to create a swirl of dark confusion around him. In this scene, his stepdad is writing a letter to the administrators to Adam's school. When Adam nears, he conceals his correspondence. Ironically, we find out later the letter is supporting Adam and admonishing the school's treatment of him. Time and time again, Adam is being shown he is broken. He is perceiving realities beyond the collectively agreed upon bounds, told he is loved, and all these interventions, threats, and hiding is done out of love. Because he sees and hears his constellation of self, and he sees and he hears all the other constellation of selves denied and repressed. Remember the movie Inside Out?
So, how was the first day of school?
It was fine, I guess. I don't know.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
Did you guys pick up on that?
Sure did.
Something's wrong. We're gonna find out what's happening, but we'll need support. Signal the husband.
With a nice pass over Reeves, comes across center ice.
Uh-oh, she's looking at us. What did she say?
What? Oh, sorry, sir. No one was listening.
Is it garbage night? We left the toilet seat up. What? What is it, woman? What?
Signal him again.
So, Riley, how was school?
You gotta be kidding me. For this, we gave up that Brazilian helicopter pilot?
It's cute to have the aspects of self represented in an animated way, giving personalities to the voices in our heads, similar to my team I introduced in the Enneagram. As my journey moved well beyond the Flatland arc, the Enneagram expanded into astrology, which opened my mind to a far more sophisticated way of perceiving who I am and where I am.
Astrology is this exquisite language of our interior, private psyche selves, and its separation by a thin membrane we call identity from the whole big thing, right? The whole big conversation.
I am a consciousness within a collective consciousness. I am shaped by my ecosystem. I am not the independent being I perceive myself to be in Flatland any more than Adam was. The more I thought of my journey as an inward journey, the more tangled I got because the ecosystem was influencing and informing my inward experience. The more I considered this concept of resolving constraints through ego dissolution, the more I participated in the never-ending story of power struggles. When cycling through Flatland, there appears to be no other way than to drop the personalities that show up and wreak havoc, and no other conclusion than to think of it as an illusion needing disillusionment.
It's almost like using the body, the personality, and the construct of Kim is using that to bring in the next movement. It's bringing in that right relationship piece and understanding exactly what you're doing with the body, and why the body is such an important piece, the personality, the ego of Kim. It's not this ending of Kim. I think there must have been this idea in this transformational time that we would somehow be letting go of the personality. But I think there's still been this sniggling in us about maybe the personality and the ego and the concept of Kim that also needs to be honored, you could say, and allowed into the process.
I discovered ego porosity, the simultaneous transparency to flow freely through fields while maintaining the self. It's the integrated constellation of being as shown in the Enneagram or astrology that allows me to retain the unique expression of source and form while adding my voice to the collective choir. With the discovery of epigenetics, we have evidence of this interconnectedness of being.
To understand epigenetics, I think we first need to take a step back and remind ourselves what DNA is. So DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid, and it's basically the set of instructions that we're born with, that we inherit from our parents, that contain all the information needed to build a human. As we go to in the neighbourhoods we live in. And we now know that it's the genes and the environment work together to nudge our development in certain directions and help shape who we become.
It's an inside-out journey, Recognition we are a collective is acknowledging we are affected by the collective. We cannot get rid of the victim until we remove the perpetrator. We cannot remove the perpetrator until we recognize the structure of the mind. We cannot change the structure of the mind until we acknowledge collective constructs. Changing who gets to be at the top of that pyramid only casts the next perpetrator, denying their own victimization they needed to overcome to reach that top. Conventional methods utilized do not address the dynamic. Rather, the signal indicating the source of the effect is suppressed. The wounds of vulnerability, of innocence flattened through the hierarchy like Adam, who accommodate to regulate a world encasing him with flatland arced love.
When holding your breath is safer than breathing. When letting go is braver than keeping. When innocent words turn to lies, and you can't hide by closing your eyes.
When pain is all that they offer, like a kiss from the lips of a monster. You know the famine so well, but never met the feast. When home is the belly of the beast, the ocean is wide.